I quit alcohol and it changed my life. And that's not hyperbolic. Being a year sober, entering my second year of sobriety, I feel like my life has just begun, and I regret that I didn't get sober sooner. I feel that I've wasted my prime years of my life, my youthful prime years as an adult male, wasted to addiction. And I think I wasted those years because I thought I would have time. And I remember when I was drinking alcohol in my 20s, going to the university and partying, getting sucked up into that lifestyle, smoking cigarettes, smoking marijuana, having a good time, failing courses, acing courses. That's the kind of life I was living. And at that moment, I thought that I would never die. I thought I was immortal, and I thought I had all the time in the world. But the reality is, I didn't have all the time in the world. We don't have all the time in the world. And today, as I'm in my mid-30s, I look back on my early 20s and I just wish I wasn't so stupid. I wish my maturity was at the level it's at now. I wish I could rewind the clock and go back to that point in time with what I know now, because if I knew what I know now, I would have lived the next 10 years completely differently. So that's a piece of advice I can give you right now, is that if you're young and you're drinking or partaking in drugs and alcohol and the party life, I would say that it's not going to last forever. At some point, we all get older and our life changes, and that's one constant in life, is that life changes, and hopefully for the better, and hopefully sooner rather than later, because my biggest regret is that I didn't get sober sooner. Because today, without alcohol, I feel like I'm living my authentic self. I feel like I'm truly myself. The best benefit, I think, is coming full circle to my childhood creativity and passions, the things that I loved in my youth and growing up as a child. My creativity, my interests, my passions have all come back. And because I'm sober, because I put down the bottle, I have room and energy to allow those things to flourish. And I'm nurturing my childhood self. The child in me, my younger self, is still alive. Thank God it's still alive, because I'm able to finally let him come out, and I'm living my best life. So I used to be anxious in social settings, and I always thought that I needed alcohol to let me get into the mood or the groove of a social setting. So one of the ways I justified my drinking was that, well, I'm going out to a party, I'm going out to friends, I have to have a couple of drinks because I can't be cool otherwise. I always thought that my real, true, best self came out when I was drunk. I thought that when I was sober, I thought that I was boring. So this was one way that my alcoholic self deluded me, tricked me, lied to me into thinking that I needed alcohol to be liked, that I needed alcohol to be cool. And the fact is, I didn't need alcohol to be cool. I didn't need alcohol to be liked. I'm not boring sober. I had grown such a dependency on alcohol in social settings because I needed that in university, going to frat parties, partying on the weekends, going to clubs, that it became an everyday part of me. And I was pretty introverted too. So I think by being an introvert earlier on in my life, I kind of needed that liquid courage to step out of my comfort zone, which was going into a social setting, because the alcohol acted as an anxiolytic or an anti-anxiety, and it lowered my anxiety and allowed me to kind of let go a little bit so that I can, be the life of the party or whatever. But the fact is, I don't need that today. I don't need alcohol to be comfortable in social settings. I'm fine being myself. The best benefit is that I can be more creative, sober, and this leads me into, I think, so the greatest benefit of quitting alcohol and being sober and not drinking anymore is that I can remember things, and I'm not hungover anymore. Not being hungover and not feeling that shame or regret of, oh no, what did I do the night before? Oh shit, who did I text? Oh, what did I say? Did I make an ass of myself, etc., right? I remember going to parties, and the next day I would feel so bad because I knew I screwed up, right? Like I just got absolutely wasted, throwing up in the bushes outside somebody's house. And then I remember talking to a friend and asking him, hey, I was pretty bad that night. He's like, oh man, we were like, he doesn't even remember how bad I was because everybody was so bad. Everybody was so drunk. Everybody was so intoxicated. And I think back to that kind of life now, and it's like, what kind of life is that, to where everyone is so inebriated that nobody has a memory of what anyone else is doing, and we all feel shame for our actions, but we're let off the rope because nobody can remember because everyone else is just as drunk, if not more drunk than we are. That environment, like what kind of environment was I putting myself into, right? So that's another benefit, is that I have better friends today. I put myself in a better environment, a conducive environment to my growth, to my learning. I'm focusing on my education. I'm focusing on my creative pursuits. I have some projects, personal projects, potentially a business in the future. I'm aiming towards a career, and I've mapped out the next 5, maybe 10 years of my life ahead of me. And I was never able to do that in my younger years because I could never see far enough beyond the bottle, right? So today I have forethought. I can look ahead in my future, and because I'm sober and I've maintained a length of sobriety longer than a year, I can now look years into the future and say with certainty that I can move towards this vision because I've already achieved a year of sobriety, and I've already accomplished so much within 1 year that I know I can do more in the years to come. I feel like I've accomplished more in this past year of sobriety than I've accomplished in 7, maybe 10 years of my life drinking and doing drugs and smoking weed and living the life of the party. So I feel like my quality of time is better. I'm getting more out of my time. My productivity has improved. My social life has improved. Every aspect of my life has improved. So if you're watching this video and you are addicted to alcohol or a substance or a bad habit and it's holding you down and you're stuck in life and you're a young man, I think one of the best things you can do for yourself is to get sober. Getting sober will release the bonds that are holding you down in life. If you're stuck, it's probably because you're stuck in a negative feedback loop. And a negative feedback loop is generally supported by a negative habit or an addiction or a substance. And that's what alcohol does. Alcohol holds us down and it feeds us this negative feedback loop because we feel good by drinking, and we think that everything's all right, and we become comfortable and complacent in our life. Same with smoking weed every day, like doing the marijuana maintenance program. You're either sober or you're not. And if we're consuming a substance every day, if we're drinking on the weekend all the time, we become complacent and we think that this is what it is to live life. This is all there is in life. And that's such a insipid lie, because to live your best life, I truly think you need to be sober to flourish. You need to be sober to flourish. So I hope this video finds you well. If you made it this far, give me a like and subscribe. And if you want more, check out this video here.